Iceland is shutting down its embassy in Russia. Parliament completely bans conversion therapy. An amazing Viking Age find, and more on this episode of the Reykjavik Newsdesk. Hello and welcome to the Reykjavik Newsdesk. I'm Andie Sophia Fontaine, and these are the weekend's top stories in Iceland. Minister of Foreign Affairs Þórdís Kolbrún Reykfjörð Gylfadóttir has announced that Iceland will be shutting down its embassy in Russia on August 1st. The AFP reports that this makes Iceland the first country in the world to shut down its embassy in Russia since the invasion of Ukraine began. She furthermore communicated to the Russian ambassador in Iceland that Russia should begin scaling back its work in Iceland, including recalling their ambassador back to Russia, and is expected that the Russian ambassador will be leaving Iceland by the end of the month. Now, the minister made a number of qualifications with this announcement. She said that Iceland is not severing political ties with Russia, but rather because there is almost no diplomatic work being done between the two countries, it didn't really make sense to have an Icelandic embassy open in Moscow, at least for the time being. As could be expected, the Russian government did not take the news well. They said that they were surprised and saddened by this announcement, citing that Russia was one of the first countries to recognize Iceland's independence and that Russia has given Iceland a lot of assistance in troubling times, and that they said that this action was unfriendly and there would be a response to it. Dmytro Kuleba, Ukraine's foreign minister, thanked Þórdís Kolbrún by contrast for the move, saying that other states should follow this example. In other news, Iceland's parliament just passed a law with an overwhelming majority that utterly bans conversion therapy. Of Iceland's 63 MPs, 53 voted in favor of passing the law. There were 3 abstentions, but no one voted against it. The remaining 7 MPs were absent. The bill was led by Reform Party MP Hanna Kristín Friðriksson and was praised by National Queer Organization Chair Alva Birgir Bjarnason as being very important and long overdue. For the unfamiliar, conversion therapy neither converts nor is it therapy. Rather, it is a blanket term for any number of coercive techniques that are usually done under the auspices of a religious organization, but not always. And these techniques are supposedly have the aim of curing somebody of being queer. The overwhelming medical consensus is that none of these techniques work. You can't cure somebody of being queer. And in many cases, these techniques are tantamount to abuse. With the passage of this law, it is now illegal in Iceland to make somebody go through this practice by coercion, deception, or threat, or to make a child go through this either here in Iceland or abroad. It is also illegal to engage in these practices or accept money for these practices and is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. For the 14th year in a row, Iceland has been ranked the safest country in the world by the Global Peace Index. I've linked to the full report in the description so you can see what the Global Peace Index has to say about your countries, or you can see what the other safe countries are. But this is an excerpt of what the Global Peace Index had to say about Iceland. Quote, "After recording its highest score in 2021, Iceland has witnessed a remarkable 55% decrease in its score for violent demonstrations. Furthermore, its perceptions of criminality score now ranks among the 10 lowest globally, reflecting a positive trend in overall safety and peace. The country has a stable political system and is also relatively safe from natural disasters." Yes, a stable political system. That's us for sure, for better or worse. 8 new people were appointed to the National Court, or Landsdómur, for 6-year terms. Landsdómur is a special court that is established to try cases wherein ministers are strongly suspected of and accused of wrongdoing by Parliament. They try those cases. Now, this in itself is maybe not spectacular news, but what caught my attention is that one of those appointed was this person, Claudia Wilson. I've known Claudia for a number of years in my capacity as a reporter, and I've known her primarily as a lawyer who fights tirelessly for the rights of refugees and asylum seekers. And so this was especially brightening news for me, and it's always amazing to see a black woman get appointed to such an incredible position in this country, let alone someone that you personally know to be someone who has justice and integrity at the heart of everything they do. So congratulations, Claudia. As I said in my previous video, three mothers in Hveragerði organized some 200 people to go up and protest against the Icelandic Association of Municipalities, telling them to go back to the negotiations table with the labor union BSRB, which is the labor union for municipal workers. And I'm not saying that correlation is causation, but guess what? A collective bargaining agreement was signed between the Icelandic Association of Municipalities, or rather the Association of Icelandic Municipalities, and the labor union BSRB, where a number of municipal workers under their auspices have new contracts now. And these include preschool workers, these include grade school teachers in numerous municipalities in the country. The parents have gotten what they want, the workers have gotten what they want, everybody wins. Lastly, there has been an amazing archaeological find near the northeast village of Seyðisfjörður. Now, this excavation uncovered a number of different items, including this very well-preserved specimen of a woman's garment. I've linked to this article in the description as well. And even though it's in Icelandic, what I'd like to draw your attention to is the photo of this piece of garment, because it's remarkable in its detail and its knitwork, and just shows like what a perfect art knitting is and how it's been unchanged for at least the past 1,000 years or so. In any event, that's the weekend's news in Iceland. If you like the content that you see here on Reykjavik Newsdesk, be sure and like and subscribe. And I also want to announce that my next Ask Me Anything session will be coming up very soon. I'll be giving a more exact date on when it's coming up shortly. I just wanted to give you a heads up that it is coming up and tell you that this Ask Me Anything session is for $20 patrons, wherein people can, well, ask me anything about Reykjavik Newsdesk, about Iceland, about Reykjavik, about me personally. We always have a good time and hang out, so I hope to see some of you there. Furthermore, the new viewer poll will be coming up soon. And the viewer poll, which is for $15 and $20 patrons, is a poll wherein you, the viewers, can decide what single topic I cover in my next single topic video. So if you want to dictate what I report on, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Which reminds me, I want to thank Corinne Vasquez, Marion Ward, Christopher Hunter, Marion Moores, Kimberly McDaniel, Iceman98, and Octavia Hrun Jonsdottir for being patrons on the $20 level, Laura Johnson for being a patron on the $15 level, and Hafstein Himmenljómi Reginusson, Stephen Ellis, and Vivi Carvajal Schapner for being patrons on the $10 level. You folks rock. That's all from me at Newsdesk. Be good to each other.